Hello, you're watching Eye on Africa on France 24. I'm Nadia Massi with the headlines on the continent this Thursday. No green light for military action in Niger, but ECOWAS leaders insist all options remain on the table at day one of a regional crisis summit. Our correspondent Justice Bazoum is there. More than 60 people feared dead off the coast of Cape Verde. The boat, which set sail from Senegal, had been at sea for over a month in what is one of the most dangerous migrant routes in the world. And tentative calm returns to Tripoli, Libya, after the head of a powerful militia is released by a rival group. Clashes this week following his arrest left dozens dead. Welcome to the programme. Our top story, the West African bloc ECOWAS has reiterated it is still willing to intervene militarily in Niger more than 3 weeks after the coup d'etat. ECOWAS leaders met in Accra, Ghana this Thursday for the first of 2 days of urgent talks on how to restore the democratically elected government of President Bazoum. Now, Nigeria has emerged as the strongest voice pushing for military action, but all the leaders at the summit say diplomacy remains their preferred route out of the crisis. Reporting from the summit in Accra, here's France 24's Justice Bazoum.
The decision on whether the ECOWAS military force would actually be intervening in Niger may only be known after Friday, when this meeting is expected to close. Nigeria, the largest country in the sub-region and the country with the largest military force, is a firm supporter of an intervention. Its Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Gwabin Musa, has been speaking at this meeting today.
At the heart of our discussions are the lives of millions of people who yearn for stability, peace, and progress. We must not allow the people of Niger to suffer needlessly. Our task as the Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff of ECOWAS states is to ensure that our responses to this crisis are not driven by fear, but by the principles of justice, respect for human rights, and the unwavering commitment to the rule of law.
In this meeting today, they have been finalizing the resources available to them and the sort of things that they need to mobilize to be able to make this deployment possible if it does become necessary.
This meeting is talking about pledges when, potentially we will start marching, toward the country. But these are questions that are not open to the public, because these are military issues and they are operational secrets.
At this meeting today, there were seats available for Mali, Burkina Faso, and Guinea, but those seats were empty. According to ECOWAS officials that we've been speaking to, those countries are not here today because they are currently under sanctions. They are saying that this should be the last warning to the junta in Niger to stand down or face their full wrath.
Justice Bazoum reporting for us there. Now, in other news, more than 60 people are feared dead after a boat capsized off the coast of Cape Verde. It had set sail more than a month ago from Senegal, likely bound for Spain's Canary Islands. That migrant route from West Africa to Spain is one of the most dangerous in the world. The number of people, though, attempting the journey has surged this past year. The health minister of Cape Verde has called for global action now to help prevent further loss of life.
It comes with a lot of pain, yes, but we know that migration issues are global issues which require international cooperation, a lot of discussion and global strategy. Given what the world is going through right now with migratory issues, it means that we all the nations have to sit down at the table and see what we can do so that we don't lose any more lives at sea.
Well, also covering this story for us is reporter Sira Thierij. She's in Dakar, Senegal, and she has more details for us on the conditions of the survivors.
The boat had left Senegal on the 10th of July, so that's more than a month out at sea for the 101 people on board, including some children. They are departed from the fishing village of Fas Boy, which is about 3 hours north of the capital Dakar, and 38 of them were rescued on Tuesday off the island of Sal, which is a part of Cape Verde. There they're being looked after at the moment. They're given rehydration treatment, tests for malaria and COVID, and officials are saying that their conditions are improving. They were all on the way to the Canary Islands, which is a territory of Spain and seen by many as a way to come to the EU. And indeed, we have been seeing quite an increase in people attempting this very dangerous migration route, the Atlantic route, to come to Europe. Just a couple of weeks ago, at least 17 bodies were found at a popular beach in Dakar, and the Spanish NGO has reported that 800 people have died in the Atlantic from Senegal this year alone. And back at home in Fas Boy, when the news broke yesterday, when people learned what had happened to their friends and their family members, of course, they were incredibly devastated and sad. But soon, some of them were also increasingly frustrated. They started damaging cars and boats, and some even set the house of the mayor on fire, because especially young people in Senegal feel like there's such a lack of opportunities for them here, and they want the authorities to help them more.
Well, meanwhile, in other news from Senegal, lawyers for the country's most well-known opposition leader, Ousmane Sonko, say he's been admitted to intensive care following a hunger strike. Sonko began the protest on July 30th after he was accused of fanning deadly violence between his supporters and the security forces. Government officials have declined to comment on these latest reports of his hospitalisation, but have previously expressed doubt that he is observing a genuine hunger strike. Now, a major police operation to crack down on ivory trafficking out of Gabon has been taking place this month. Authorities say 3 key traffickers are among those that have been arrested, and that hundreds of elephant tusks have been seized. Gabon has been committed to fighting elephant poaching for several years now, but the value of ivory makes that a challenge. Here's more from the Gabonese government.
Au Gabon, les peines encourues vont jusqu'à 10 ans d'emprisonnement.
In Gabon, the penalties incurred for this kind of crime is up to 10 years imprisonment. And when it is transnational traffic, the penalties can go up to 20 years. The collaboration between the Water and Forest Administration and the NGO Conservation and Justice has made it possible to arrest 500 ivory traffickers, 80% of whom face up to 5-year sentences. This partnership has enabled the seizure of 800 elephant tusks for a weight of 3.5 tons.
800 défenses d'éléphants pour un poids total de 3,5 tonnes.
In other news, this week, Libya has been rocked by its bloodiest fighting in a year, when at least 45 people were killed in clashes between 2 militias in the capital, Tripoli. The violence was triggered by the arrest of a powerful commander named Mahmoud Hamza by a rival faction. His forces control much of the capital, and despite his release, tensions there remain high. Clemens Voller has more.
Celebrations after the return of their commander. On Thursday, members of the 444th Brigade were seen celebrating the release of their leader, Mahmoud Hamza, after his arrest triggered the bloodiest bout of fighting in Tripoli this year. The commander's arrival home comes as Libya's internationally recognized prime minister warned against further militia clashes.
If the rival militias do not calm down and are not satisfied with a conciliatory solution, there will be other decisions regarding them. People's lives are not a game. There will be other measures against them. We have to be harsh.
The 24-hour gunfight broke out late on Monday after Hamza was seized by the rival Special Deterrence Force as he tried to travel from Tripoli's Mitiga airport, which the SDF controls. Under a deal brokered by the city elders on Tuesday, the SDF handed Hamza over to a third faction, the Stabilization Support Apparatus, who then released him. However, the conflict caused heavy casualties among civilians, which was slammed by the Beba.
Every day they cause trouble on the streets. Every day causes a war. Every day people are terrorized. Touching civilians is forbidden. It's forbidden to carry a gun and to fire in the streets.
Since the overthrow of President Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, Libya has been plagued by multiple militias vying for power, along with a political standoff between the unity government and rival parliamentary bodies. The country is split into eastern and western parliamentary factions, resulting in two prime ministers fighting for legitimacy. Major warfare in Libya has been paused since a 2020 truce came into effect between the main eastern and western sides. However, despite an uneasy peace in the country, a lasting solution to the conflict looks distant.
And we end the programme in Lomé, Togo, where the amount of household waste is set to double in the next 5 years. In a bid to reduce the percentage heading to landfills, small businesses are attempting to make recycling easier. Our team in Lomé have been to see how well that's working.
EcoTrash is a Togolese waste management company that recycles large domestic appliances left behind by garbage collectors, like this old refrigerator, about to be transformed into a smart bin in just 48 hours.
We chose old refrigerators because most of the trash bins that come to our market are made of plastic, and they deteriorate quickly and become garbage.
The program launched in 2021. Since then, Vega Recycling, in partnership with EcoTrash, has donated over 100 of these digital bins. However, Togolese households continue to rely on plastic bins, and awareness campaigns are still needed to encourage recycling.
Regardez ça, tout ce qui est plastique là, on met ça ici.
We agreed to get the smart bins because our old ones were not suitable. When we put garbage in them, they overflowed. And when the garbage collectors did not show up on time, our street became a dump site.
Once full, users scan the bins to alert Vega Recycling, which also functions as a waste sorting center.
We handle the alert immediately thanks to geolocation. We send our garbage collectors. We are in a closed circuit. The plastic waste will be transformed into pellets, which will themselves serve as raw materials to produce plastic objects.
50 tons of trash are collected and sorted monthly. Plastic waste is then recycled into pellets to limit the need for imported plastic bags, which have been officially banned in Togo for the past decade.
And that's a wrap for Eye on Africa. Thank you for watching.